Folic acid is required for the synthesis of nucleotides in microorganisms and humans. Its active form, tetrahydrofolate, contributes carbons to purine and thymidine rings.
So we'll start with folic acid. And I just want to show you that folic acid is what we get from the diet. We cannot, it's a vitamin. That means we cannot make it. So we get folic acid from the diet. We have one enzyme that will convert it to the active form. And the active form of folic acid is called tetrahydrofolate. Again, you don't need to memorize structure or anything, but that's the active, biologically active form called THF. Okay? The enzyme that we have is called dihydrofolate reductase. One enzyme, but we have to get the folic acid from the diet, converting it to this active form. Now, I want you to see this highlighted part. Folic tetrahydrofolate, the best way to think of it is that it is a carrier of one carbon molecules. So you have a formal carbon with a carbonyl, the carbon here, double bond there, CH, CH2, methylene, methyl. There are a few other forms. We've already covered this one briefly when we were talking about methionine. There are at least 6 or 7 different forms of one carbons that can be carried by tetrahydrofolate. So in that sense, tetrahydrofolate becomes the donor or acceptor of these one carbons. Okay? That's its function. Note the 3 processes it is involved in. Purine synthesis, purine nucleotides. That means without THF, you cannot synthesize adenine and guanine nucleotides. That ATP, GTP. Without THF, you cannot synthesize thymidine. And without THF, you cannot resynthesize methionine. That's just a few of the THF requirements. Adenine and thymidine are, adenine nucleotides and thymidine are extremely important. The reason they're important, because without nucleotides, you can't make nucleic acids. And without nucleic acids, you can't have cell division, replication, and all of that. In both humans and microorganisms, THF is needed for purine synthesis. If it's not present, you cannot make purines. If you can't make purines, you can't make nucleotides. If you can't make nucleotides, you can't synthesize nucleic acids. So remember the 2 target enzymes. For microorganisms, because they have to synthesize their own folic acid, sulfonamides target dihydropteroate synthase and inhibit it, so they can't synthesize folic acid, and if they can't synthesize folic acid, they can't synthesize THF. In humans, we only have this enzyme. We get folic acid from the diet. Okay? Methotrexate inhibits dihydrofolate reductase that produces THF, the active form of folic acid. Okay, so folic acid is here, methotrexate there. You can see there, this is an analog of folic acid. It's a competitive inhibitor of dihydrofolate reductase. There is a specific dihydrofolate reductase inhibitors that is for prokaryotes, and it's called trimethoprim. So it inhibits the same enzyme, but it's specific for prokaryotes, doesn't affect the human dihydrofolate reductase. A folic acid deficiency in adults can lead to megaloblastic anemia. You have to remember, and actually simultaneously you will have homocystinemia as well, accumulation of homocysteine. I just want you to appreciate that rapidly dividing cells, like hematopoietic cells, red blood cells, or white blood cells, skin, gastrointestinal tract, and many other rapidly dividing cells need a constant supply of nucleotides to make nucleic acids, to divide, to replicate, for cell division, and so on. So red blood cells are particularly dependent on the ample supply of purines and nucleotides. That's why you get megaloblastic anemia. If you like this video, please subscribe. Thank you.